Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the Infinite Baffle channel. My name is Niall and today we are back a little bit later than I would have liked. This video was actually intended to go live on Sunday just gone, but if you follow the channel you might have seen that I put a post in the community page basically saying that a speaker fell on my head in the middle of last week, which cut my head open. You might be able to see the little mark here. It's healing up pretty nicely to be fair now, but yeah, that threw a bit of a spanner in the works and delayed this upload, so thank you for your patience while we got round to this today. You might be able to see next to me we've got the Cyrus 40 amp and streamer, a really exciting combination that we're going to be looking at today. The 40 range that launched not too long ago, celebrating Cyrus's 40 years in business, which is a really insane achievement actually when you think about it. And yeah, there's also a CD player that's a part of this range and a PSU that you can add to every single item within the range, I believe. Today we're just focusing on the amp and streamer, but yeah, it's been a really busy week. I mean, it feels like a long time ago now, but it's that time of year as well where we're getting to the Spotify Wrapped, the music and reviews. I'd love to know in the comment section down below who your top artists have been for this year in terms of your listening time. I'll make sure to put mine, as embarrassing as they are, on the screen for you guys to look at right now as well. So feel free to give me some stick in the comment section down below. And yeah, if you do enjoy the video, leave a thumbs up on it as always. Leave your support in the comment section down below and make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. But yeah, the Cyrus 40 package, let's get into it. I think the best place to start with the new Cyrus 40, the amp and streamer here, is going to be the aesthetics, the design of the units themselves, because boy howdy, have they not smashed this out the park. I mean, of all the products we've looked at this year, there's been some things that I think are absolutely beautiful to look at, whether that's speakers, amplifiers. This might take the top prize of my favourite design of 2024. I love, love, love the way the Cyrus 40 range looks. I mean, they encapsulate everything Cyrus with their half-width size, as they always have done, but the way they have transformed that footprint into this new modern design is absolutely incredible. I mean, the screen on the front really brings us into 2024 with what you'd expect with a lot of amplifiers now, something where you can show your kind of, and streamers, somewhere you can show your artwork, what's playing, all that kind of stuff. The way it lights up is absolutely sensational. They've also got a couple of cool features, so the fact that you can put your hand in front of the units to wake them up, so they're kind of light sensitive, so if you step away from them they'll kind of go into a not a sleep mode because they'll still be playing, but the Cyrus logo will be there. Then you move into the light and yeah, it comes back on again. They've got, it's not a touch screen so to speak, but they've got a few buttons down the one side of the unit which are classed as touch sensitive, so you can use those for things like adjusting settings, switching between different inputs, all that kind of stuff. So there is some touch screen, a bit of a touch screen nature to them, but as a whole I think you're going to be using the remote control more than anything, to be honest with you. But yeah, the design of these is just absolutely magnificent in my opinion. Like I say, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, but to me, perhaps the best looking piece of kit to come out of 2024. And we've not even touched upon the fact that you get these fantastic dials on the front that make you feel like a safe cracker every time you're using them. I mentioned this when we looked at the Ever Solo earlier in the year. I love any kind of volume dial where it gives you kind of feedback, and you might be able to hear it here. It's yeah, pretty special that is. And I mean, for someone like me, again, I love these little niche touches, these aesthetic features. They do nothing at all in terms of the same quality, but in terms of usability and just feeling like the kit is something special, Cyrus have absolutely nailed that side of things. Another really cool feature actually when it comes to the display is the fact that the volume and screen have got independent brightness control, so you can kind of adjust both of these to kind of suit exactly what you need. I actually found the brightness of the volume dial to be absolutely insanely bright. We're currently seeing it here. This is it at its most low possible brightness setting effectively. But you can imagine, I mean, if you had a rack with the whole 40 system on, all synced up in terms of brightness, it would look absolutely incredible. We've just got a couple stacked up here, but yeah, they are really designed to be used together. You can tell that in both the way that they sound, which we'll come on to later, but the design as well. I mean, they are magnificent to look at. One last thing I will touch upon on the screen, as beautiful as the unit is, and as much as I do like the screen on the front, I do wish they'd have made the album art a little bit bigger. The text is really large on the front, so you can kind of see what's playing the album it's from, all that kind of stuff, and that kind of takes prominence over the album art, which I don't hate, but I think it's always nice if you can see the album art really taking over the touch screen, so to speak, like you do in some of the units, like the NAMM Unity range does a really good job of that from in my experience. But yeah, I would have liked the album art to be a little bit more prominent, but obviously we're talking nitpicky preferences here. It's also worth noting that each of these does include a remote control. The one that it comes with is the standard Cyrus 40 remote, which I love, by the way, the fact that the shape of the actual remote as well matches the shape of the unit. Again, these are the little touches that I really appreciate, the niche little extra lengths when a manufacturer does this kind of thing, these little touches that I think can sometimes go amiss, but I really appreciate. It's worth noting that this remote does all of the units, so whether it's the streamer, amplifier, CD player, this is a universal 40 remote, so if you've got, you know, imagine, you know, CD, amp, streamer all stacked up, you would only need one remote to operate all of them. You just simply change the setting on the top here as to which unit you want to use, and you're away. But yeah, all of them come with the remote, but you only need one to operate all of them, if that makes sense. I'll put in the background some of the specifications for the 40 amp for you guys to look at now, but in terms of the more important ones, this is coming into market at just shy of £4,000, 3,995. It's putting out 100 watts of power per channel into 6 ohms, and for the size of it, you know, for the Cyrus half amplifier size, actually has a really healthy amount of connection options. We're talking 4 analog inputs, a digital optical input. It's got a HDMI eARC, which I know is really, really big for a lot of you guys, so really nice to see the inclusion of that. It's got a built-in moving magnet phono stage. A bit of a shame that on the back you'll see an Ethernet and a USB-A. Both of those are there for updating purposes only, so when you're updating the unit, that's what you can potentially look to use, but you can't actually use those as an input for a source or anything like that, which is a bit of a shame. On top of that, it's also got the latest ESS DAC built into it as well, the exact same DAC that's built into the streamer that we'll come on to in just a moment. So yeah, a really healthy amount of connection options. I think if you're using absolutely all of them, you'd probably struggle in terms of cable management. I mean, most people I think are probably going to be using 3 or 4 at most, but if you're someone that's really maximizing the outputs and trying to take advantage of every single, you know, connection point on the back, I think you would struggle to get them all in at the same time, if you see what I mean. But still, again, for the size of the unit, really healthy amount of connectivity. In terms of the 40 streamer, this is coming in at just shy of £3,000, so 2,995. I'll put again some of the specifications for this on the in the background for you guys to see now. But yeah, just shy of £3,000, not cheap by any stretch of the imagination, especially given how competitive the streamer market is at the moment. Probably the fastest growing, quickest changing area of the hi-fi market as we speak. And yeah, £2,995, not cheap. What do you get with that? A whole host of connectivity in terms of Roon Ready support, AirPlay 2 support, but for me, the biggest thing that this includes is the fact that it supports the BlueOS app, which gives you access to all of the major platforms, the likes of Spotify, Tidal, Qobuz, and it's just genuinely a really nice, friendly app to use as well. So that's the biggest thing going for this streamer in terms of functionality for me, that BlueOS app, which we covered before. I'll put some footage of me using that in the background for you to look at, but it's a fantastic app in terms of connectivity and the overall support it gives you. Does that make it worth £2,995? No, not alone, especially considering the support that other streamers have got on the market for considerably cheaper. But where this shines is as a combination and the sound that it puts out, and we're going to come on to that in just a second. Just to confirm as well, I did mention it before, but again, really briefly, the DAC that's built into the streamer is also the sound that's built into the amplifier. ESS is the latest DAC, so that's worth bearing in mind. It's the same DAC across all of the 40 range. So the most important thing then, yes, the Cyrus 40 system looks great. Yes, it's got great functionality. Yes, it's got BlueOS support, but how does it sound? Now, we use the 40 range with the Q11 speakers, doing the most of the listening through the BlueOS app, going through Spotify and Tidal. So most of the listening, in fact, all of the listening was done via streaming. And I've got to say, I was very, very impressed. I mean, Cyrus stuff I've heard in the past, I've always been a pretty decent fan of. I like the sound that it puts out. It's quite a traditional sound. It's quite a musical sound. But the word of the day when it comes to Cyrus's 40 system for me is warmth and control. This system, and this is a pretty bold claim, I don't want to say it made a digital source sound analog, because I think that's a very extreme thing to say, and I think that will trigger a lot of people. But this, in terms of a streaming system, is as warm as I can recall it ever sounding, I've got to say. The combination with the Q11s was absolutely fantastic. I mean, as you guys will know if you've seen the videos on the new KEF Meta range, the Q series, I mean, it produces this big wonderful, all-encompassing sound, and the Cyrus just helped accelerate that, and it genuinely did feel like this system is getting the most out of the speakers. They sounded as good as I've heard them with anything that we've listened to them with, and I think the staging on this was a real big part of that. Again, it made this lovely, warm, musical sound, and it was a real joy to listen to. I think the only downside to the fact that it's so warm is that if you're someone that's you really like to listen to your music in an analytical sense, I don't think the system would be for you. I've got to be honest. I mean, if you're someone, again, that likes to really pick the bones out of everything, that isn't what this system does at all from my experience. It's much more of a laid back, smooth, warm presentation rather than something where it's super detailed. But again, for me, I really enjoyed that. You know, I sat in the sofa soaking up the music, and it was a really thoroughly enjoyable experience. The staging on the 40s was also absolutely fantastic. I mean, obviously we listen to these with the Q11s, as I've touched upon, and the staging that they produce naturally through the meta technology built into them is always going to help, but I really felt like the 40s were getting the most out of them, and it was an all-encompassing, room-filling sound that was absolutely magnificent. The mid-range in particular was really warm, really rich. I'm a big fan of female vocalists. Lana Del Rey, one of my favourites, put a couple of her tracks on, and the vocals were absolutely crystal clear while still maintaining the warmth of the sound. And I mean, I mentioned it earlier, the fact that this is a digital source, this sounds as analog as I can ever remember hearing a digital source sound, and that is a massive compliment. It was a wonderful system to listen to. The low end as well I thought was really nice, I've got to say. I mean, Cyrus as a brand, typically when I've listened to their systems before, they don't provide the punchiest bass, which I touched upon earlier, but the fact that they don't do that, and I don't think the 40 system does that either, it gives this really well-fed, smooth bass, and that kind of supports the way the rest of the system sounds. So again, it's not the punchiest bass in the world, but the way it fits in with the system I think is absolutely spot on, and again helps provide this really smooth, laid back, musical, warm experience. Obviously the system does come with its drawbacks, which for a £7,000 investment might say to some people, you know, if I'm spending that much, there should be no drawbacks as far as I'm concerned. But you know, the small shape of it, the small size of it, I should say, even means that, you know, if you're using absolutely all the inputs on the back, maybe you're going to struggle for cable management. The streamer could perhaps come with a bit more support, although I think the BlueOS support on its own covers a lot of that, giving you access to all of the major hitters. The fact there's no tone control, which I've not really touched upon up till now, actually, the lack of tone control could be something that puts some people off. Again, I thought this sounded absolutely fantastic out of the box with the KEF Q11s, and me, I'm not someone that really tinkers with it, but it's nice to know that it's there. You know, if you're someone that likes to really fine-tune your music, have all your different presets, it's a shame that that's not an option here. But the positives: warm, rich, musical. They are the three big words I'm going to leave you with, because again, I think this is a fantastic system if you like a warm sound, and again, it's a special product from the moment you open it. So the moment you plug it in, it does truly feel like a real accomplishment that Cyrus have put together here, and I'm incredibly impressed. But this is the point of the video where I ask you guys your thoughts. You know, if you have had a listen to the new Cyrus range, let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Do you think I'm an absolute idiot? Always love to hear from you in the comment section down below. But that's going to round this one up, guys. If you did enjoy it, again, leave a thumbs up. Thank you for your support as always, and we will catch you all in next week's video.